Welcome to Rock Your Block and today's segment of This and That with Ernestine. I am your host, Ernestine Wilson. I have a very special show for you today. To say that my guest is special to me is an understatement. She's a dedicated health professional with over 30 years of experience as a registered nurse. Her journey in the healthcare industry began out of a deep personal commitment to care for some of her siblings who suffered with chronic illnesses. My guest is the owner of Noble Home Healthcare, LLC, which is currently doing business in Virginia. It is my pleasure to welcome my friend, Fasika Morris, to the show. Thanks for spending time with us today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, sure. Well, let's get started. Let's start by talking about your professional experience. First of all, I have to tell everybody that you have a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing.
Yes.
And that you are a registered nurse. We commonly say RN.
Mm-hmm.
But tell us about the type work that you have been doing during your 30 years of experience in nursing.
Thank you, Ernestine. I have been a registered nurse, like you said, for a little bit over than 30 years. I have worked in a hospital setting, which we call acute settings. In area hospitals. I also have worked as manager, director of different floors or different specialty in the nursing career. In the last 25 years of my 30 years experience.
Well, you've also been a traveling nurse because when I met you, you were a traveling nurse, right?
Correct. That's how I ended up in the Washington, D.C. area. I started my nursing career in Pennsylvania, and then I came here in Washington, D.C. as a travel nurse.
So can you tell us how working in the hospital helped you prepare for your home healthcare business?
Sure. In hospital settings, a lot of the patients that I took care of will end up getting some type of home health care, whether it's skilled nursing or non-skilled nursing. So that setting was not a new venture for me. It was just in a different setting that we will provide the care that we do currently in a home setting, except it's not a skilled nursing. It's a non-skilled nursing care that we provide.
Okay, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
So what prompted you to start your own business?
So being a nurse for a while kind of puts you in a place where you get exposed to different home situation for patients, whether they go home and they don't have the assistant that they provide and so forth. But the personal passion that really triggered me to start this home health care business was the fact that I dealt with siblings that were chronically diagnosed with different illnesses that needed a 24 hours, 7 days a week care at home. And it was a different type of care for me to be involved as a family to make sure that their day-to-day needs were met, their personal care, which is like their activity of daily living, simple things like assisting them to take a bath, preparing their food, or just simply having someone to talk to during their daily living.
Well, tell us the type of services that you offer through your company right now.
Right now we offer non-skilled services, which is, to simply put it, is personal or companion care. The companion care is to have caregivers come to your home to take care of their basic needs, helping you with your meal, or it's just being there throughout the day to keep you safe if families are not at home or if the clients are just living by themselves. that is more companion. The personal care goes a little bit further than the companion care. They could prep your meal. They could do a little light housekeeping. They could assist you with your daily activity, which is like dressing, or they can accompany you to go to groceries, the store, or doctor's appointment. So those are the services we pretty much give.
Well, how do you match the caregiver with the client?
So that is one of our challenge.
Tricky?
Yeah, it is our challenge. What we do is, for example, when we get a call to come to your home to see if we are fit for you as a company, we do an assessment. We have ways to ask the questions to really get into the nitty-gritty of what type of services that you need. And then we have caregivers on our team that we know their personality, their abilities, their skills, and then we match you in order to have a successful business, or successful in a sense of the clients being really happy, the clients being safe, the clients being taken care of in the way that they want to. So that is one of our challenges.
Okay. So after your employee has left the property where the client is, and the regular caregivers are there, do you give them instructions on how to assist your client when you're not there? How does that work? I guess I'm asking, do you help them cope with having a person who's dependent on them?
So to have an employee, so we don't do the skilled part, so it's just the personal care or companion care. So that caregiver is pretty much there to do the basic needs of the client. So our caregivers, we do have our meetings, we have orientations, we have checklists that we give them also to make sure that they're doing the things that they're supposed to. There are the do's and the do nots for the client. So we maintain our relationship outside that office or outside the client's setting by having them come to our office, doing in-services, doing meetings, and we're available as the owner, as well as my team is also available to be reached via phone if they need to.
Okay. What strategies do you have? You just mentioned trust, well, alluded to trust and confidence in you. So what strategies do you have in place to make sure that you maintain that same type of relationship with the client?
The key with that is you have to maintain relationship with the client. One way to do that is keeping in contact with them, checking on them, whether it's in person, to go to their house and just kind of check, I call it checking the pulse, making sure they're receiving what that they signed up for, or that we're providing the care that we signed them up for. So you really have to maintain that communication with the clients. And if the clients are not able to communicate with us, we normally have family members or friends that they communicate with us and kind of keep an eye on the client as well. So it's mostly you have to reach out. You have to make sure that they're satisfied, they're safe, that they maintain the trust that they hired us for, pretty much.
I'm thinking that you have more than one client, really. Mm-hmm. That you have the family members or whoever sees after them when you're not there taking care of their personal needs, and the person who you're actually assisting. Would you say that's pretty much true?
It depends. It's case by case. We have, you could have a client that, like I said, that lives by herself or himself. You could have clients that are living within their family home or with their children or adult friends. It's a unique case. It's case by case where we just make sure that we can continue that communication with the client directly as well as with their family members.
Well, I know that doing the type work that your company does can be tough sometimes. So do you have a go-to plan if one of your workers is having like a really tough day? What do you do?
They usually call the office when they're having a tough day. Caregivers are very tough, very understanding, compassionate, passionate about what they do. So for someone to have that kind of a day is it's not rare, but it does happen. So we're available. I'm available. My team is available in the office. So it's as simple as a phone call. Sometimes you just need to talk with another person within the company to just kind of vent it out, or if it's a solution that we could provide for them as far as if it's a difficult situation they're in, we always have to have a backup plan.
So what are your biggest challenges in this business?
I would say finding caregivers, finding employees is the challenge, because you really have to really find out what fits for your company and what also fits for the client. So that is our challenge.
That's challenging
now.
for a lot of people
Yes.
nowadays.
Yes.
Finding the right fit for the company.
Yes.
So I get that. Well, what's the most rewarding aspect of taking care of someone or helping them in their home?
I look at it in a way, what I do for myself on a daily basis, the basic things that we don't realize, from making your favorite cup of coffee to just going out for a walk, the things that we take for granted on day to day. So when I see a client being happy just by walking twice a day outside their home, or just to sit down and have a conversation with another person, the joy that you see on their face, or the feeling of security that you get from the time you signed them up or you have them as a client to when you go to check them again or to follow up, you see that sense of comfort, sense of ease, and sense of security. That to me is the most joyful part of the job.
Do you find that your clients are sometimes a lot happier to see people outside of the family or the regular sphere than they are, that they communicate more with you sometimes than they do with the people that they actually live with?
Not really. Again, it's case by case.
Okay.
Some live by themselves, some live with family, some live close to family, it's just different. It's
Okay.
different case by case. But a lot of the clients are reaching out to the home health care arena for help, for assistance, whether it's their daily activity, whether it's their light meal prep or light housekeeping, or just to be around somebody when they're walking so they could feel safe, that they're not going to fall, they're not going to have a more major problems in their day-to-day life.
And can you think of anything that you've learned since you've started the business that has changed the way you do business? I mean, like in the day-to-day process of what you do. Since you've started your business, has anything surprised you?
Not really. Some things are because if you anticipate their need, if you're 10 steps ahead, normally things will go well. I find out that communication is a key. It's a key both ways. They need to communicate with us clearly, with boundaries. Sometimes it could be challenging when families are involved, because you might get 2-3 different instructions from different family member, and the client themselves could be giving you instructions. So Setting the boundaries is very crucial. I've learned setting a clear communication is a very crucial part of the job as well.
So when you say setting the boundaries, you mean setting the boundaries between the expectations of the people who are on your team?
No, both. It's both way.
Uh-huh.
The team will know the expectation.
Mm-hmm.
The clients will know the expectation, but sometimes it could be challenging when you have family members or friends that are trying to help the client, but that might be interfering with the client's wishes or plans. So you have to kind of be that person to step in and say, you know, Mr. So-and-so or Miss So-and-so would like to have this done, and that's what we're gonna follow. So it's a fine line that you walk, but it has to be walked.
Okay, I can see that so clearly.
Yeah, naturally, like I would like to help everybody, and that's not the case in these jobs. You really have to have a line where you are there for that client and that client only.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, yours is, I see it as a serious business. So tell me something fun that happens in your office. Is there anything funny or fun, or is it all just serious business?
So, you know, with my background, seeing all serious illnesses or challenges with my siblings, we had this thing at home. We make fun of something. Humor has to be in the center of our day-to-day. So I am normally a person, even if it's the most challenging, difficult day, that I'll come up with something to laugh about, because I realize that not everybody gets to do that. So if you are serious all the time, then it's not healthy. So I try to smile, I try to laugh, I try to come up with humorous things to kind of make everybody else feel a little bit more at ease or a little bit comfortable.
And I know one of your team members, and she could be on a comedy show.
True, very true. We always joke about that. And again, you know, it's very challenging. It's very a serious business in a sense. You're seeing people, you're seeing clients at their home needing your help, needing your assistance, needing your services, and you can't be all serious. You gotta make that client laugh about something, as long as it's a good humor, not bad or anything, but good humor, because that brings joy. And most importantly, on the office side, yes, we joke a lot, we laugh a lot, because we have to. The rest of the time we're serious.
Well, do you see anything that's unique that's occurring with the aging population in Virginia?
So more and more clients, or the aging population, is choosing to stay at home and live in their own environment, where they're in control of their day-to-day again, or their control of their life. So I'm seeing the preference. A lot of people are preferring to stay at home, to get the services at home, and they actually are healthier at home than they would be in a facility or anywhere else, because that's their environment, that is their home. So I'm seeing more and more of that coming up, that people are willing and choosing to stay at home.
And that is just, I think that's a really good thing, because most people don't want to leave their home anyway. Most people have a really serious fear of nursing homes, and some of them are justified. So, yeah, I get that. So is that the only unique thing that you see about the aging population that you can think of right now?
It's diverse in a sense. A lot of people, like I said, aside from choosing to stay in their own home, you also are seeing senior living facilities, independent places coming up in the Northern Virginia area. There's a lot of them. So they will downsize, for example, they will move out of their home, but they're moving into a new home. That has been a new style or a new coming in the area, which is really good because they still continue to live in their home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. That
Yeah.
is good.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you see for your business? Expansion?
I hope so. I hope so. But more than the expansion, our goal is to provide that quality care that they need. So not so much the number that I'm not gonna go for. I'm gonna go more for the quality and just to maintain the Northern Virginia market.
Okay. Well, what advice do you have for someone who's looking to open a business like yours?
I would say do the research. Also have a good business plan. And have the passion and the commitment. It's not something you could grow overnight. It's a process, so they need to be patient with it and have the compassion and the passion to care for others.
Okay. Now, this is one question that I have for you that someone told me to ask you.
Uh-oh.
If you had the power of one superhero to make your job easier, what would your superpower be?
That's a tough one because I don't know. I really wouldn't know.
What could you use to make your job easier, just in general?
I would say
5 hands?
no, about I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question, honestly.
Okay. You'll think about
More
it.
caregivers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
That
your
would make
biggest
my job
challenge.
much easier. Yes.
Okay. More caregivers that
Yeah.
have the same mindset
Yes.
that you do.
Yeah.
Okay. Another question. This is the only other question I was told to ask you just to see what you would say. So, what is a fun fact about you that most people don't know?
I'm not as serious behind closed doors. I like to
learned that.
relax. Yes. When I relax, I relax. I'm a hard worker, but I think a lot of people take me to be that way every day. I go home, I am just very easygoing, relaxed, which is really hard for a lot of people to believe. So that's a lot of the times that people don't understand about me, or don't know about me, I should say.
Okay. If you were interviewing a person for a position with your company, what qualities would you expect them to possess?
Compassionate. They have to have passion. They have to be extremely patient, loving. And I think the one quality that I always ask in the question is, what would you want done for you if you were in that position of the client? So in other words, what drives you to do this job? What is it that really, really drives you to be who you are as a caregiver?
So do you give them scenarios and ask, what would you do in this situation? Is that what you do?
Yeah, we do.
We do,
because that will tell me how you will be with the client, and also what your purpose is in becoming a caregiver. You know, when I say purpose, is it just passionate about the job, caring, or is it just a job? Because there's a difference when you're just doing a job and when you're really loving the job that you do.
Mm-hmm. You're right about
Yeah.
that. Now, if I am looking for a caregiver for myself or someone, say my family member or something, tell me something that I should ask the person that I'm interviewing that most people don't even think about.
So I would, if I was that client or the family, like you said, I would ask availability. How soon can I get a caregiver? do the caregivers, for example, have background checks because they're coming into your home? So you have to make sure everybody is has a background check that will work for your family or yourself. The qualities, what type of certification that they may have, the nurse's aide or their home health aide. So there's differences, which is a little bit detailed, but I would ask those questions. I would also ask about, do you have on-call people? For example, if you have a caregiver that calls out sick, are you going to send my mother or my father or my family member another caregiver, or am I going to be left out? So those are the things that you need to think, and the hours, what availability that you have, and so forth.
Okay, those are good questions. Well, guess what? We're almost out of time.
Okay.
Thank you for coming
Thank you for having me.
and sharing that information with us.
Thank you.
So our time is up, and if you have any questions about how to contact our guest, Fasika Morris, owner of Noble Home Health Care, LLC, please see the information scrolling below. Thank you for watching Rock Your Block and today's segment of This and That with Ernestine. See you next time.